In life, there's plenty times in which we come across these barriers, and most people mistake them for brick walls in their way when it's just a speed bump. It's just another hurdle that they have to get over. Like, no matter what it is, whether it's your fitness journey and you feel like you can't get to that next plate, or a business you don't know how to expand and grow and get more per month, you're stuck at a certain amount, or a job, you're stuck, you don't know how to get to that next promotion. There's always these barriers in life that we mistake them for brick walls, and after enough time, we feel like there's no way around them. There's no way through or around. But these are all just speed bumps. They're all things you have to slow down, take your time, and find a way over it. Even if it's like a small wall, there's ways around it. Or there's a door to get through.
That's right, and they kind of say whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Kind of the same aspect on when there is, you think, a brick wall or a speed bump, an obstacle in the way, you're gonna come out the other side better because now you have more knowledge. As far as business, for example, I've had so many things go wrong, whether it's customers, equipment based, but now I know how to work through it. Because a lot of people just take it as, this is too hard, I'd rather go punch in every day. When in reality, if you work through it, not only did you feel better as a person after you worked through it, but you're more knowledgeable and you're going to come out better.
And it can happen like things pop up like this. Like, I've been planning on starting my business and growing because I plan on doing a new business because I already have a business. And I've been ready, focusing to start this April. It's March. And I get into a car accident. Right? And I get into a car accident, my car is totaled, I don't have insurance to pay for it. And someone in my situation could easily give up. Or they could say, maybe I'll just do it next year.
Yeah.
They could easily say, car is totaled, now I have to pay money to get a new car. That means I don't have money saved up to start a business. I'm just going to save up this year.
And then go do it next year. But I promise you, the next year, it turns into the next year. And then it turns into the next year.
Something will happen.
Yeah.
People always look for an excuse to delay their dreams.
Yeah. To delay anything. Because the brain, humans don't want to get uncomfortable. You're made to stay comfortable. Like, the brain doesn't want to go out in the cold or go in the cold water or make the phone call or talk to the client.
If you're stuck and you feel like there's either no way out or there's no way through, something bad happens to you, or you just can't figure something out, you have to slow down. You have to look at it from all angles, because that brick wall, there's a door or there's a way around, or maybe it's a maze. Maybe it's a maze and you just can't find the way through. But the only way that you fail is when you just give up.
Right. Even when you feel like there's, how in the hell am I going to get past this? How am I going to get by this? Maybe you're broke. You have 4 kids you have to provide. You don't know where money's going to come for the rent tomorrow. There's a brick wall in front of you. There might be a couple loose bricks that you can kick down and push through.
Yeah, you can just push the wall down.
Yeah.
In worst case scenario, you can't find that way around. There is no door. It's not just a speed bump. That wall's built and it's packed in. You slowly just kick it through. You turn around, you go and you get a hammer and you break it open, because there is no wall that you can't find a way through. It's all, and most of the time it's mental. It's a mental block, right?
It 100% is a mental block.
It happens to everybody. It happens to people in jobs, people in businesses, artists, people that write, creators, writer's block, runner's block, like the
video creators block.
Right, like coming up with ideas. Or like the 6-minute mile, if you know about that. Or is it a 5-minute mile?
How nobody could break it? The 4-minute mile.
The 4-minute mile.
They thought there's no way in hell somebody can break the 4-minute mile. One person does. Within 7 days after that, 4 more people do it. And then it's like, because once you know it's possible.
Years. It was years they believed it was impossible. And as soon as somebody does, and now I think it's over 10,000 people have broken the 4-minute barrier, including high school kids.
Yep.
Which is crazy. You could think that there's this wall, there's this barrier this was seen to be humanly incapable. You physically couldn't do this. Didn't matter how tall, if you were 7 foot, right? The barrier wasn't related to height. It was that nobody could break the 4-minute barrier. And today there's kids in high school
Yeah.
And the only thing that was holding him back was this idea that it was possible. Because when you don't, in your brain, believe that you can do it, then you're not going to.
And that's what makes, if you guys are familiar with like BUD/S training or Navy SEALs training, it's like when you think you've given everything, when you think you've given everything you have 40% more left in the chamber. Goggins talks about it. Now, why am I thinking George Janko? What's the big one? Something bad happens, good. That happens, good.
Jocko?
Yeah.
Jocko.
Yeah, Jocko. He was a Navy SEAL too. And the idea behind that is they work these guys to where they don't see any way, like, look up BUD/S training, guys. They're bobbing on water for 30 minutes, 12 feet deep. They have their hands tied behind their back. They drown all the time and they have the guys ready to do CPR. They're doing things that they don't even think that's humanly possible. But in order for them to go take out these guys across the world, I mean, these are the most badass guys on the planet. They have to achieve things that they didn't think that was even possible.
And they're human, just like you.
Normal.
Just like us. They're not superhumans. Yeah, some people are maybe more genetically gifted, but they're still human.
But that's not it at all.
Right.
There's dudes that go in there.
Most of the people are not.
It's everything. This is everything up here. Think about, we said it multiple times, but a sword, and same with David Goggins talks about it, like you have to get beat to hell. Like doing things you don't want to do every day. You want to run a mile. You get a mile, you force yourself to run 2 more. Just like fucking whip yourself so hard, because that's what can make you come out a badass looking sword. Stronger. And the only way to get where you want to be is being uncomfortable. And humans want to stay comfortable.
Yeah.
Something as simple, we say 1,000,000 times, staying in the sauna longer than you think, getting into the cold shower, even if it feels like you've gotten there once, it's like, I can't force myself to get in there. You can. It's all in the brain. That's why I love talking about the Navy SEALs doing it, is they do things that people don't think is humanly possible. But in order for them to be the top team in the world, killing the worst guys on the planet, the most craziest missions, they got to get beat to hell first in order to realize that they're stronger. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And the only way to get stronger is getting out of your comfort zone. You have to get out of your comfort zone.
And if you feel stuck, you feel like you have looked for a way through that wall. You've tried to find a way around it. Maybe you need a break. Maybe take a day off and come back to it, because the person who gives up is the person who gives up. Maybe you take a couple hours off, you go and do something, clear your mind. Maybe you go and you ask somebody. Maybe you watch some videos and you ask somebody online. You ask one of your friends, you ask a family member, what's the best thing I should do right now? Because you can't figure out which path to take. Like we talked about in our video, there's forks in the road, but sometimes it's not a fork of 2 directions. Sometimes there's 10 different paths and you have no idea what one to take, and you only want to rely on yourself. You can look and ask other people. There's other people that make sure they care about you, but there's people, right? And don't take their advice 100%, but there are people that care about you and can help you if you're stuck. If you don't know which way to go, take whatever they say for granted, or don't take what they say for granted, but don't take it too highly, but don't take it lightly. Find that middle ground where you think, okay, that idea that they said, that was dumb, but that idea, I hadn't thought about that. Maybe I should do what they said. Maybe I should take their advice on this. Because if you reach out to nobody, you only have one brain.
Humans are pack animals. We're made to analyze each other, to talk, to communicate, to recreate, of course. But we need to be communicating with each other. But not only with each other, like he mentioned, David Goggins talks about it too. If you want to find more about yourself, go in your room, turn off the lights for 30 minutes. Most people couldn't do it. Like sitting there, they just couldn't do it for 30 minutes, just reflecting. Because you're going to be fighting demons. Most people always, nowadays, are on their phones, scrolling. They're so used to having this dopamine. Go in the room for 30 minutes and think about what you've been doing.
And don't fall asleep.
And don't fall asleep. Right. Where do you want to be in 10 years? Just like last video, who do you have to be in order to be that person in 10 years? To be that role model, to be yourself, to be your idol? How do you need to act? Because if you think you're stuck, you're not. You haven't looked hard enough.
Yeah.
Even when it feels like there's seriously no way around it. You have rent due tomorrow. You have 4 kids that are hungry. Tucker Carlson.
Yep.
Backwards. He talks about like how he thinks how men should have kids as early as possible, because most men will not do anything until they have to, and then they will do everything in order to provide. Like most guys are going to be smoking weed and hanging out and chilling, and then they have kids and they have to provide, and then they will do everything in order to provide for their family. And that's a good example, is forcing yourself under pressure.
Yeah.
We're not saying have kids out of high school, but
We are.
we are.
We are. Or in high school.
If you're a sophomore or a junior,
Have a couple. But
the idea is getting uncomfortable because you're never going to grow or excel unless you're under pressure.
I like the idea about going in your room with your lights off for 30 minutes, but I think a better one might be you gotta turn your phone off, go sit somewhere where there's no distractions with a piece of paper and a notebook, and you can't get up until 3 pages are full. I don't care what you write about, just write something.
I like that too.
Goals, dreams, but it doesn't matter if it takes 10 minutes. If you're in there for 10 minutes, good. If you're in there for 30 minutes, then you're in there for 30 minutes. If it takes you 2 hours to write 3 pages, it takes you 2 hours. But you do not get up, you don't turn your phone back on until those 3 pages are full.
I bet that's a great idea, because I bet most of you, even me, the first try, unless you're a writer, can't
4
do
hours.
it. Couldn't do it. It'd take you forever. Because you're just so used to, I am too. We're not anything special right now. We're kids that are learning and growing and developing and becoming better and excelling. We are learning too. I think it'd be hard to do that. I think I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try it. He just motivated me, and I hope we motivated you guys too. Sit down today, airplane mode. No, turn off your phone and write. Write 3 pages. How you've been feeling, what's been going on, what's your future self look like. Just write.
Yeah,
Just write.
something. 3 pages. Do it. And if you don't do it, you're never gonna get past that barrier.
You have to get uncomfortable to be uncomfortable. And if you feel like you're stuck in an obstacle, you're not stuck. You haven't looked hard enough, because you can't fail unless you stop. Remember that. Thrive on.